Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Eric here. So today's video is going to be about my new camera setup. It'll be a quick one. I know you guys are looking for probably maybe car content or something like that. That's definitely, hopefully, coming your way. Lotus content, definitely coming soon maybe. But I am pleased to announce that I do have a new camera, and that's what you guys are seeing right here behind your computer screens or your iPhone screen or whatever you guys use to view YouTube. I've been kind of looking to the side because I now have a nice flip out side monitor to make sure things are in focus because spoiler alert, the autofocus on this camera sucks, but I'm just going to ignore it. If it's out of focus, I apologize. I don't even know what to do at this point. So I think if I sit at this distance, the camera focus is somewhat decent. I don't know. So about half a year ago, I actually sold my Sony a6300 that I was using previously. In the time being, I've actually been using my cell phone to record videos. I know that's a kind of a shameful admission. I'm definitely not proud of it, but it was supposed to be a temporary thing, a stopgap, while I actually searched for my next upgraded camera setup. But it just took me so long to finally make a choice, and luckily I finally have. I spent most of the time vacillating between the Sony a7 III and the Panasonic GH5. Finally, I ended up choosing the latter. Basically, I was mostly waiting to see if the new and upcoming a7S III, which is more of the video focused version of the a7 III, would finally come out with some details. Never did. It's probably around the corner now, but I just said screw it, I'm not going to wait. And then honestly, the choices or the specifics around the Panasonic GH5 were more aligned to my application. So in the end, I decided to just go with the GH5. And the reasons exactly why I'll detail now. So let me actually look at my cheat sheet here on my phone on some notes. I'm not sure how people do these like one takes with all this information without having like some sort of teleprompter or some sort of note. I mean, that's impressive if you do that, but I need some notes to kind of go through this really quick. So number one is obviously image quality. The GH5 has amazing image quality. Hopefully you guys can see that. If things are still in focus, I have no idea. And then let's see, another big motivation for me to, hold on, I can't even read. What the fuck? All right, okay, so what I was saying was the reason why it took me so long to make a decision between the a7 III and the GH5 was because initially I was really pushing to upgrade, so to speak, to a full frame sensor. Because there's a lot of benefits that come with it, obviously. Number one is good low light performance, and number two is good depth of field. But again, I assessed my application. I don't really need super low light capabilities, and I don't really need super crazy depth of field, because I actually feel like for YouTube, like these type of quick YouTube videos, having a super buttery or like separated background is actually a little bit too distracting for these videos. So with that, the GH5 I think is definitely more than sufficient. And another reason why that kind of compelled me to the GH5 is actually my lens choice that I use to pair up the GH5. So the lens I'm using right now is the Panasonic, I'm actually reading the lens right off the lens itself, the Panasonic Summilux 12mm f1.4. I should know this, but I'm definitely not prepared for this video, as you guys can tell. It's actually using a Leica glass, so it's a really nice lens, pretty expensive, but it's a f1.4, so that means it's very fast, and it's also a wide angle. So actually another interesting point is, because I made the choice to go with the GH5, the Sony a7 III is a full frame sensor. The Sony a6300 that I came from was a crop sensor. And then here on the other side, the GH5 is a micro four thirds sensor. So that's actually even smaller than the crop sensor from the a6300. So I essentially went backwards and went the complete opposite direction. But again, none of the advantages that the full frame sensor really applied to what I needed it for, I don't think. Another plus that the GH5 has, although minor, is actually a very impactful one. And that's right here off to the side, which you guys cannot see. But the GH5 has a much needed flip out screen. So it actually folds out to the side. That's super helpful for when I'm trying to frame shots or just do like, talking videos. Because before with the a6300s or the Sonys in general, I don't think any of the Sonys have a flip out screen. You have to basically blindly just point the camera to your face and hope that it's in focus and hope that you're framing your shots correctly. It's a little bit strange. I don't like that workflow. I like at least being able to see, like right now I can look to the side and see that I am somewhat in the shot, I think. I can't really tell the focus because it's kind of small, but it's nice to have. Huge feature, very convenient. I love it. So really that's all I kind of have. I mean, I'm not trying to do like a full-on in-depth camera video. This isn't really my forte. I'm not really a camera guy. I like cameras for sure. I'm trying to up my production quality on this channel, definitely. But if you guys want to see more camera content, there's definitely a lot more YouTube channels out there for that, with people who have a lot more credentials around this field than I do. But either way, hopefully you guys like what you're seeing. But I will give you one downside, and I kind of hinted that in the beginning of the video, and that is the autofocus. I'm honestly praying as I'm talking to you guys that everything's still in focus. The focus is pretty garbage, to be honest. I mean, there's an update, a firmware update back in October, I think, that supposedly addressed it. I mean, this camera's notorious for horrible autofocus, but even with the update that I have installed, it's still not the most confidence inspiring. Like, for example, if I come out of frame and then back into frame, will it even focus? See, it's not even focusing. Okay, here we go. It takes a while. It's definitely not Sony grade in terms of autofocus, so that's something I'm gonna have to try and maneuver around and live with. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. See, it's already out of focus again. Back in focus, I think. You gotta stay in a strange distance from the lens or something. So here are some B-roll footages of what the camera setup actually looks like. I have for the tripod a Manfrotto Pixie Evo 2. I picked that off of Amazon. The lens again is the 12mm Panasonic Summilux f1.4, excellent lens. I did stick back on my previous Rode Video Micro microphone. Love that thing. For my, what you call SD card, I'm using a SanDisk Extreme, nothing too crazy. So yeah, that is my new camera setup. Definitely, this should motivate me to make more videos, and if it doesn't, it's going to be a pretty damn big waste of money because this thing wasn't that cheap. And actually, let me go ahead and talk about how much I spent on this camera setup. I actually did my best to try and shop for a deal when buying this GH5. It is a 2-year-old camera after all, so Panasonic has been gradually dropping the prices, but even still, I was able to find a pretty decent deal. My criteria was to find everything brand new, but at the cheapest possible price. So for the camera body itself, I picked up an open box, brand new camera for $1,300. And on top of that, I actually shipped it to my buddy in Las Vegas, and then when I went to Vegas recently, I picked it up from him while I was there to avoid tax. So the Asian in me is really coming out now, so whatever. And then for the tripod, I think that thing was like 60 bucks, something like that. So the lens itself was actually decently pricey. I think that thing was about 800 to 850. Quite an investment, but you can't skimp on the lenses. Let's say the Video Micro, I mean, all in all, so I'm about under 2,300, I'd say, for the entire package, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. I really gotta do something about this autofocus, and I pray that there's a solution. Because if not, man, I think I might have made a mistake going with the Panasonic, but we'll see. Other than that, in terms of the actual channel update, expect a very big update in terms of the channel itself. I have something kind of brewing behind the scenes, which I'll announce hopefully next. And then for the Lotus, I've been hauling ass, busting my ass inside the cold garage, inside this cold California winter. You know how cold it gets out here. It's like under 60 degrees. That's pretty bad. So yeah, I've been working really hard on the Lotus. A lot of stuff is going on to the car. Big upgrades, major progress. I haven't been filming too much, but I will get you guys up to speed very shortly. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to see some more behind the scenes updates, because I've been doing such a poor job filming, check out my Instagram. It is called Grand Mighty. I post shit on it, so check it out. That's all I got. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.